And I thought, oh, from the mouths of babes. I mean, that's exactly, in many respects, what this whole process is all about, and clearly what the public engagement piece of it is all about. It's bringing as many people to the table, making the tent as large as possible so that everyone has an opportunity to be a part of this, critical moment in our city and county and region's history. I wanted to go over a few numbers with you. 1,172. That's the number of volunteers that have signed up to be a part of the Cuyahoga County transition process. 450. That's the number of phone calls that the Public Engagement Committee made by way of phone banking to reach out to those individuals that had signed up for committees but that had not yet been plugged into the process, to try as best we could to get everyone involved. And special thanks to Reverend Teresa Prunty, who runs the Ombudsman's office, who opened up their space to allow us to do that. And that was wonderful. 148, you already heard, is the number of meetings that we've had as of today, with many more to follow. 9, that's the number of public engagement forums that will take place. A couple have happened already, and there's another 7 scheduled, to really get the word out to the community, to allow not only our work groups to report out on what they're doing and what they're learning, but to just as importantly hear from the community about new ideas, new perspectives. I really have been quite impressed with the feedback that we've gotten, and I'm sure it will only get better. And then the last number I will share is 3. That's the typical number of hours of sleep that I've gotten since I've joined this process. So I did want to talk very briefly about the Public Engagement Committee in terms of kind of our focus. We have divided ourselves into 3 sub-work groups. One is focused on the whole issue of coordinating the public forums and the logistics, not only for our forums, but for any of the work groups that choose to have forums and need the help. And there's a lot of work, as you can imagine, that goes into planning these kinds of events, especially when you have larger crowds. So we have to make sure that we have sign language interpreters. We have to make sure that the venue is large enough, that we have microphones so that people can hear, that we have the space that's necessary, that we're on a main bus line so that people can get there, wheelchair accessibility, all those kinds of things. So it's not just pulling together a meeting, it's really being planful so that every citizen can feel that they're invited and welcomed and have an opportunity to participate. Our second committee is focused on outreach. So the idea there is to ensure that we are looking at all the constituencies and all the different groups, and there are literally hundreds of them probably, but we've kind of divided that work group into looking at, okay, who can reach out to the elected officials in the community, who can reach out to the students in the community, who's working with the seniors, who's working with you name it. I mean, we can go on and on, but they're really, as we travel around the region or the 11 districts to plan these forums, they're really trying to look at those particular geographic areas and figure out how to do outreach to get the word out so that more people can actually come out and participate in the forums. And then the third group we're calling actually the OPE group, which is Office of Public Engagement. We're already making the case that this whole process of public engagement shouldn't end December 31st. We should build into the new government structure some type of an opportunity for citizens, like those of you in the room, to always have a chance to come before the county council and the county executive and to have that opportunity to dialogue and share ideas and perspectives and be heard and that kind of a thing. So he thought, wouldn't it be nice if you could create an office that had that as a sole responsibility? So those are what the 3 work groups are talking about. And in terms of this being a public and political process, I was thinking about our work group. And right now, the most active people on our work group are people that were the most vociferous, individuals that would come to public meetings and sit in the gallery. And once I saw that they came to a second meeting or a third meeting or a fourth meeting or a fifth meeting, I said, you know what? You're one of us. I'm a citizen just like you are. Why don't you come and help us, do this work? So Jonathan Shanes, who is a business owner that lives in Beechwood, runs a construction business, had called me and had come to meetings and said, hey, I really think that you all should step up the effort and, I want to be a part of this process. He's now one of my go-to guys. He's running all the logistics and setting up all the meetings throughout the county, and he's done quite a good job with that. Andrew Whitehead, a resident from Parma, has become very active on our committee and actually is taking the first stab at creating a newsletter that would be a public document that would be distributed by way of email, and he's pretty much shouldered the whole responsibility of writing all of the summaries of all the work groups, which is just a tall task in and of itself. Speaking of Parma, there's another person that's on one of our subcommittees named Ray Rosenberger. Those of you that think this isn't a public process, Ray has pretty much videotaped every last committee meeting that he's attended. And many of them he's also audio taped. So he's also working on the outreach committee and has been very helpful to us. Dr. Jeff Brutney, who's a nationally renowned volunteer expert from CSU, started coming to our meetings, and he too was drafted, and he's actually working on putting together a plan for long-term volunteer engagement, but actually evaluating the process that we're using this year in a way that might be instructive in future years. So I can go on and on. Reverend Prunty came to us the same way, came to enough meetings where we said, okay, you're now one of us. But I just think it really speaks to the quality of this county. People really care, people want to be involved, and if given the opportunity, they have stepped up to the plate. So I'm very excited about that. A couple of other things I'll mention before wrapping up and moving into the Q&A is that we are using high-touch and low-touch methods and strategies to reach out to the masses throughout Cuyahoga County to communicate about this process. So as I mentioned, the outreach committee is, of course, reaching out to different constituency groups, but we are doing Twitter, we are doing Facebook. The website is fantastic. I would really, anything you're looking for, you can find on the website. We're also launching a speakers bureau where we'll be going out and talking to different groups and doing presentations as they would deem necessary. And finally, I just wanted to mention all of these dates are on the website, so you don't have to necessarily write these down. But next Tuesday, our public forum will take place at Regina High School in the South Euclid-Lyndhurst area. A couple of weeks ago, we had our kickoff forum at Tri-C West, and the president is here. Thank you. We're going to June 17th, we'll be at the Brecksville Community Center. July 8th, we'll be at the Beck Center in Lakewood. July 31st is a Saturday morning, we'll be at the Tri-C Corporate College. August 19th, we'll be at the Westlake Library. And we will wrap up our forums at the downtown Cleveland Library on September 13th. One other point I'll make as I close is that we, in discussing this with a lot of our friends from the Latino Hispanic community, decided that rather than trying to have a Hispanic Latino interpreter in a lot of parts of the county where, quite frankly, there isn't a large number or percentage of Hispanics and Latinos, that we would do a separate forum in the heart of the Latino community, which we're scheduling for some time, I think the third week of August, so that will be presented in both Spanish and English to ensure that we're serving the needs and interests of that population. So it's a wonderful process. It's democracy at its finest, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. And again, glad to see all of you here with an interest, and look forward to your questions and comments.
Thank you. Today at the City Club of Cleveland, we are listening to a special program featuring James McCafferty, Cuyahoga County Administrator and co-chair of the Transition Advisory Group, and Randell McShepard, Vice President for Community Affairs at RPM, providing an update on the county government reform. And now we would like to return to our speakers for our traditional City Club question and answer period. We welcome questions from everyone. Holding the microphones today are City Club Special Project Coordinator, Lauren Sable, and PR and Programs Manager, Carrie Miller. First question, please.